Okay guys, this evening I've got another trail camera to show you. If you're a regular viewer, you'll know that I love these things. I've got lots of wildlife in the garden and around the garden and down at the farm where I've got my workshop. I love to put them out and see what's going on at night. This one is slightly different. It's from a company I've never heard of before, and it intrigued me slightly because I couldn't find much information about them. The product is obviously made in China, but there's no inference that it is a Chinese company. It's called iZeeker. And there's very little information on the box at all. Not hardly anything. It doesn't tell you what megapixel it is, what the resolution is for the video, trigger speed, nothing like that. I had to find all that out by digging around on the internet. But it's got like dealers in California, Spain, and this country, England. But there's nothing on it that remotely says this is a Chinese product. Anyway, it's a solar, Wi-Fi, 4K, 64 megapixel camera, Bluetooth, and they claim it's got a 0.1 of a second trigger time. That will be debatable. All of these things, they say they've got fantastic trigger times, but when it actually comes down to it, often they don't. It's got low glow LEDs, and it comes with a 32 gig SD card, which is unusual. A lot of them don't come with any card at all. So let's open the box up and we'll have a look, and then we'll set it up tonight and see what we can capture. Okay, let's have a look, see what we've got. The other thing that it has is a 2-year warranty, which is a good thing. Now there's lots of information on the front here. They have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline if you get any problems. 365-day hassle-free warranty. If there is any problem with it, it says email us with your ID and problem details, approve your request, and then the problem is solved in 2 days. So either they're confident that there won't be a problem, or they've had a lot of problems and they're set up to deal with it. On here it just tells you all sorts of tips about what to do and what not to do. Don't insert the SD card when it's switched on, you know, things like that. Down here there's some QR codes to scan if you want to watch. This one is to watch an operational video, this one's to email them, that one's to join a Facebook group, and that's to join a WhatsApp for them. So let's see what we've got here. Alright, there it is, and as I say, in the box we've just got the tree strap, the USB, and the user manual. Let's keep that out because that might be handy. The other thing it doesn't come with, which a lot of them do, is the permanent mount that you can screw to a wall or a tree or whatever, which I use them quite a lot because they're quite handy. I've got one screwed to my tree outside, so every camera I get I can just attach it to it. But it does come with the 1/4-20 fitting on the bottom, so you can attach it to one if you've got one, or a tripod or anything with the 1/4-20 screw. So here it is. It's got your solar panel on top, which is movable but not by far. It only goes, I think, 5 degrees one way and 15 degrees the other, which is slightly restricting, which means you probably have to install it north to south so that you get the sun across it. But anyway, that might not be a problem. The Seymour one I've got, the camera is the solar panel is fixed. It's slightly more angle than that, I think, and that keeps 100% charge virtually all the time. So I don't think this will probably be an issue. We've got, take some covers off. It's very sticky. Right, so we've got your LEDs in here, which are actually they're low glow, not no glow. So some animals will see them, and you probably would see them yourself if you looked directly at it. Your camera right in the middle, your LEDs to tell you what status it's in, and that's your PIR sensor. So let's open her up. Come open. There we go. Just stiff. All right, so we can take that little cover off there. Another one. And as you can see, everything is under one sort of panel. Your screen and all your buttons, everything is in one place. The SD card slot is here, which, as I say, it comes with your batteries, which are basically your backup batteries, go in the bottom here, which you can get to without having to open the front cover, which is a good idea. So that if it's up on a tree or something or other and you want to change your batteries, you don't have to disassemble the whole thing. So let's switch her on. Now this is interesting. A lot of the cameras have 3 settings. They have on, off and setup. But this doesn't. It just has on and off. And if you don't do anything with any of the buttons in a short period of time, it will go straight into ready mode. So if we press the top one, which is menu, you've got your monitor delay, your mode, which is basically PIR detection, time-lapse or time-lapse video. The PIR interval, 30 seconds, you can adjust that again. Work time, which is basically whether you want it to come on at a certain time. If you only wanted it to come on at night, you can set it to come on between certain hours. Then you've got photo or video. We've just got video at the moment. Photo resolution, go right up to 64 meg. Your video resolution, 4K. Then what else have we got? Photo series. So if you're taking photographs, you can set it to take, I don't know how far it goes actually, it's down to 5 photos at one time. So I suppose if something's moving fairly slowly, you can get it to take a series of photographs. Video length, I've got mine set for 25 seconds. What else is there? Audio recording, yes or no. PIR interval, again 30 seconds. I don't know if that's the same as the one we've just gone to. So I haven't really played about with this yet. PIR sensitivity, high, medium or low. This is set to high. Fill light distance. Now they say it's got something like a 65 feet range on the night vision. Well, our garden isn't that big, so I will set this, we'll leave this at middle, or maybe even set it to near. I'll try middle to start with. Then we've got our camera name, you can name it. Wi-Fi LEDs on or off, that's just, I think this is these telling you, whether it's active or whatever. Date and time, that's fairly self-explanatory. Same with all these things, you just set the date and time, go through it all. The date format, whether it's 24 or 12 hour. Time format, same. Date stamp, whether you want it on or off. Loop recording, that's if the camera gets full up, whether it will start recording over the first recordings or not. Beep sound, thank God it's off, because that drives me potty. They always seem to set them on. It takes you right to the end of the menus to get to it. Memory card format, so that's the best thing to do is format it from the word go. Language, you can change all the languages obviously. Password protection, so you can put a password on it so that if someone steals it they can't get into it to see what you're recording. Factory reset, customer service, that's again it's quite a good idea. It's a you know, Q code to get to the service. 24-hour prompt response and 48-hour effective solutions they claim. Your version info, that's basically all your firmware, what your Bluetooth is. And this next one, which is I think a very good idea, it's the app QR code. So you scan that with your phone and it downloads the app straight to your phone, which I think is a very good idea. It saves having to search for it all over the place. And that's it. I think we've, yep, that's it. That's back to zero. So you can also, if you press the M button, which is the mode button, twice. Oh, maybe not. Let's try it in. Yeah, you have to come out of the menu. Press the mode button twice and you can review all the files you've got on there. Obviously there's nothing on here yet because we haven't done any, but that's how you get to it. And come out of that. So that really is it. All we've got to do now is set it up. Let's just turn it off actually while we... Oh, actually, let me just... I don't know if you can see this from there. Turn it back on again. At the bottom, looking into my camera, it's got the status of your battery, the solar battery, and your AAs. Obviously, there's none in there at the moment, so it's red, the AAs. But your solar is fairly well charged. So anyway, let's have a quick look through the manual, because I have already had a scan through it, but it's not particularly comprehensive. There's no specifications page, and again, it's basic. It's yeah, that's all I can say really. It goes through all everything you need to know, and it's got, you know, your Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, QR codes that you can get onto. So I suppose what they're doing is, instead of putting it into a manual, is saying go onto these groups if you want to know anything that isn't in the manual. You can charge it if it's flat. This one actually came virtually fully charged, but you can charge it either putting it out in the sunlight or with the USB cord. So that is fairly useful. You can, as I say, you can review the videos and photographs directly on the camera, or you can connect it to a Mac or PC via the USB cord, or alternatively you can obviously take the card out and put it in a card reader. Having said that, a lot of the cameras I've tried in the past won't work with the Mac if you use a card reader. They work on a Windows machine, but they won't work on a Mac. So the best way is to attach it with the USB, or view it with the app, or directly on the camera. But yeah, it's got all the things that I've just been through. But other than that, there is very little else. In fact, I think that's about it. And that's just telling you about the app. I'll show you the app in a second. And it gives you some advice on sensing and distance testing. But if you've ever had one of these before, you know, it's fairly straightforward. And that's as far as it goes. That's it. Connecting it to a computer or replaying it on the camera. And that's as far as it goes. There's no specifications page at the back. There's nothing. So it's just a million languages, obviously. So let's actually, we need to turn it back on again, and we can look at the app. Let's just turn it on, and we'll go to the app. somewhere, which I've already downloaded for convenience. Let's see if it automatically connects. That's the one. Right, yeah, so it's, I don't know if you can see it, it's telling you that it's got a 60% battery charge on the onboard lithium battery, and the onboard battery is 5,200 milliamp hour, according to my research. The memory card is empty, obviously. It's got your temperature, the last time it was used, the model, the ID, password, firmware version. You can go to the, oh hey, it's just waking it up. I don't know how long that will take. Oh, here we go, join. So perhaps that wasn't actually current information that we've just read, although most of it will be current, but the battery levels, etc. Right, so there it is. It's what it's looking at. So it's looking out into my garden at the moment. So gallery, obviously there's nothing on it yet, and you can download, when you do have stuff on here, you can download it to your phone. Status, oh yeah, it's updated it. It's now 80% charged, because obviously I've had it in the light. Batteries aren't in yet. Everything else is the same. Temperature 29 degrees. Yeah, everything else is that. And the settings. So all those settings that I've just gone through on the camera itself, you can change a lot of them. Excuse me, change a lot of them actually here on your device, so you don't actually have to interfere with the camera. If you've got it set up somewhere and you don't want to disturb it, you can do a lot of the stuff here. You can format your memory card, you can sort the date and times and stuff out. Photo and video, you can tell it what you want. At the moment it's on video, 4K, 25 seconds with audio. Work time, this is the one where if you enable it, you can turn it on and off at various times, but I don't want to enable that at the moment. Emotion detection with its high, low, all the rest of it. So everything down here you can do, which we've already seen in the actual camera, which is, I think, is quite a good idea. I think that's probably about it. So as I say, that's just looking out onto my patio. So that's just about it, really. Let's just turn it off. What I shall do is go and get some batteries, stick them in the bottom, and then we'll stick it out on the tree tonight and come back tomorrow and see what we've caught. Okay, so I've just set the camera up outside. I'll just come in and put the app on just so I can see what it's looking at, so if I need to adjust it, and I think that's probably about right. It's quite a wide angle lens actually. It's sort of taking some of the neighbour's garden. I can't go any further to the right because my CCTV camera, the infrared LEDs will interfere with it, so I can't go any further to the right. But when that gets dark and the nightlife starts, I think that'll probably capture it quite well. I might go and drop it down just a touch, but other than that, I'm quite pleased with that. So let's come back tomorrow and see what we've captured. Okay, so we've had the camera out overnight, and I just want to show you, before I show you the footage from the actual camera, I just want to show you what it looks like on the CCTV, so you can see the sort of the spread of the infrared, which obviously you don't get to see in real life. So let me turn you around and show you on my CCTV. Okay, so let's run it. This is at, what time is this? 11:15. Right, that's it activating. It was obviously wasn't on before because it had done its 30-second or 25-second or whatever it was I'd set it at, and then it goes off for a while. You can set how long it goes off for, but the closer you have it coming back on, the more battery it uses. But you can see the spread, it's reasonably good. And so that's been picked up by my CCTV infrared cameras, which again is quite good anyway, but it's quite nice to see that it's actually activating and how far and wide it actually goes. Do excuse the bins, it's bin day tomorrow. Right, so let's take a look at some actual footage from the camera. Okay, so I hope this isn't going to be too boring, but I'm trying to illustrate exactly all the different features and foibles of the captured images, because some of them are slightly sort of a little bit odd. Anyway, you can skip through if you like and just have a look at see what's what, or you can take your time. And as you can see, some of the images, like this video, is absolutely brilliant, really good. The PIR could be a bit further away, but then when the animals get really close it would blow them out, so it's quite a happy medium. Yeah, the quality is very good. I'm quite pleased with that. I have seen worse on cameras, and obviously slightly better, but bearing in mind this is quite a cheap camera. I think it's 70 quid. And as I said earlier on, looking at the packaging, you'd probably say this is like their basics range. I was hoping to show you more than just foxes, but the badgers and the deer didn't actually make an appearance this whole week, which has been slightly irritating. And we're going to come up, I think, is this the first, sorry, whistling, first still coming up. See, that's a lovely little picture. Oh no, this is the daylight where the fox just, that was the only image I got of that in the daylight. Like 4 o'clock or 10 to 5 in the morning, so the sun's not really burst out. The colours are quite good, the definition's quite good, the overall picture is quite a nice one. You'll see later on when the sun comes out that it has a little bit more effect. You see now the light bits are starting to get a little bit blown out. This is me just filling up the water for the foxes. They really do drink a lot. Quite a wide angle. You get quite a good spread. And that's a still. You can see again the colours are slightly better on the still than on the actual video. Now this is 20 past 10 at night and the infrared hasn't kicked in. And then this is a couple of minutes later and it has. I can only think that it's something to do with the ambient light from the houses, from the windows. That's the only explanation I can think of really, because the battery, there was plenty in both batteries. It wasn't as if it was sort of saving battery power. And then again, gone back to no infrared. But the lighting doesn't seem to have changed. It's not like we've switched more lights on. Now here is quite a good still. The animal is obviously fairly movementless, so the picture is fairly clear. This is a nice one. But obviously the shutter speed is fixed. There's no option on this particular camera to alter the shutter speed. On some of them there is. My go-to CMOR, you can adjust it from I think 15th to a 30th. There's 3 options. This one is fixed. And again, that's a lovely photo. They obviously were looking at something. Again, nice and clear. This was up for I think about a week. Now here we go. This is again 4:45 in the morning. See how blown out that is, and there's no real explanation for it. The sun wasn't out at that point, and then this is again half an hour later or 20 minutes later or whatever, gone back to normal. So it's odd. I don't know if it's just little foibles of the light, how the sensor interprets the light. I don't know. Overall, it's not really a problem because you get a lot of these with a lot of the cameras. The one thing that hasn't happened, although it's probably because it's very warm at the moment, is getting misted up camera in the mornings. On a lot of them you get misting up of the lens. This one you haven't, but as I say, we are up into the higher temperatures in July. You might notice we seem to get nothing but sort of rodents and what do they call them? Stuff that you'd probably want to kill normally. See, there again, the contrast between the light and the dark. I suppose it has to have a compromise. You can see the magpie quite happily there, but the lighter bits are slightly blown out. But as I say, you've got to have a compromise with the fixed camera. This one shows how blurred you can get the stills, and then that one how sharp you can get the stills. So I had this out for about a week and didn't get any sign of the badgers or the deer, and I had over 600 30-second clips plus all the stills, so it was really difficult to try and pick what to show you. But I was trying to just show the good, the bad and the ugly sort of thing. I wanted to try and show everything, and hopefully I've done that. I love the way they just sit down and eat there. They're not particularly scared. I don't think they're particularly hungry because sometimes they leave stuff. I think they get fed all over the place in our street. This is obviously one of the cubs. We've had a litter of, I think it was 5 or 6 cubs, and they come up sometimes mob-handed. Now this next clip, you might want to turn your speakers down because this just shows you the sound. There you go. It picks up sound quite well, so being quiet because nothing's made a lot of noise. Noisy old magpie. This is another one of our friends, the crow. He comes around and clears up as well as the magpies after anything that the foxes have left. Again, this is fairly early in the morning, so the sun's not really at its fullest. So you can see the picture is quite well balanced there. You're obviously not going to get perfect with a trail cam. It's not like you put out your DSLR. Alright, I moved the camera to the back. More rodents. Blooming rats are back again. We got rid of them once, and the damn things are back. So I think we'll have to. I've got traps out. You can see there's a trap there, that thing with the terracotta on the top, but they keep nicking the bait and leaving it, or don't take the bait and don't get caught. This again was at night, obviously, 1:30, 20 to 2. There's a big one and a baby there. Blasted things. But again, it's quite clear considering it's out the back here. It is pitch black. Again, there's a still of them moving. Obviously, unless they're perfectly motionless, you are going to get a bit of motion blur with a fixed lens like this. You can't odds it. There again, that's a still. Looks like he was slightly moving, but it's pretty good. And then another one. Not bad at all. There are a few things in this camera that are lacking. You can't change the frequency. We run at 50 Hertz in this country. On a lot of the cameras you can change it. On this one you can't. You can't change the shutter speed. But as I say, it is a fairly basic one. And for the fact that it is, I'm pretty impressed. I guess it's one of those things, the less you have to play with, the easier it is to set up, because you haven't got all the options. You don't have to think, oh, what does this one do, what does that one do? You just set it up, turn it on, and away you go. So in that respect, it's very good. If you're not really into, your high-end photography and you just want to see what's going on in your garden or in a field, there's old Ralphie boy out there. Again, here we go, blown out on the left there when the sun really hits it. But quite nice for the rest of the shot. It's 9:30 at night, still light. Mr. Fox having a quick look, and that's a still. It's slightly darker than the video. He's having a look round, see if the wife's put the grub out yet. Sometimes they come and stare at the window if she hasn't put it out. She usually puts it out about 11 o'clock, or roundabouts. And you can sometimes see them sitting in the garden looking at the window. Again, see the timeline, it goes from infrared to non-infrared for no apparent reason. I think it must just be somewhere on the edge of its detection range or threshold where it changes. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't think it's a fault with the camera. I think it's just the way the sensor is working. These are quite little, these foxes. It's surprising how small they are. There's 3 of them there. You can see another one coming in from the background behind that tree, or it's just going away. One just sitting on the lawn, while the other one has a belly full. I think the wife's put some old stale tortillas out there for it. Another quite nice still. Just getting light, 4 o'clock in the morning. Come to see if there's anything left. Looks like he's after worms or something, having a little dig in the garden. I don't want too much of that, digging my garden up. Bad enough with the squirrels. Another nice photo of it just sitting looking, totally oblivious. Again, 10:30. You'd think it would be IR, but the ambient light's obviously enough. A few minutes later, having a drink. They really do drink a lot. I don't know if it's just the time of year, but or the food. But it's so important to put water out for the animals. So we're nearly to the end. I hope it's been a good insight into this particular camera, because it's one I've never heard of before. I wanted to do quite a thorough look at it. And for cheap, or cheapish, it's got quite a lot of features, but not too many. Easy to use, easy to watch back your video, and overall I'm pretty impressed. There could be a few changes, but nothing major. There we go, drinking again. Oh, and I'll leave you with this one. I'm playing around in the garden. There's a couple of the cubs, although they're getting quite big now. They'll probably go home and sleep all day now. So there you go. Hope it's been insightful. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.